Examples. So here's a couple examples for your homework, all right? So the first example I'm going to do is how to name this compound. So the first compound I'm going to name is this. So the first thing I do is I ask myself, what type is it? And I look on my periodic table, and I see that my cation, which is right here, is here. So this is in my type 3 area. So that means that this is a type 3. So then I go and I look at my instructions, and it says that for type 3s, I'm going to use my Greek prefixes. So I look and I see, okay, so there's 3 phosphoruses, so that's going to be triphosphorus, because of course it's a cation, so it gets to keep its name, and then 5 nitrogens, so pentanitride, because the IDE is the ending for any anion that's right off of the periodic table. Okay, so that's number 1, so it's a type 3. Okay, number 2, here's the second one I'm going to look at. How do I name, let's see, how do I name this one? Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is decide what type is it. So I look at my SR, and I see that it is right here. And this is in family 2, which is under my type 1 umbrella. See, there it is, my type 1 umbrella. So this is a type, which you don't have to write down the type. I'm doing that for you. Type 1. So my rule for type 1 is simply name it. So I'm going to name it strontium. And then I'm going to name this, which is sulfide. Notice my IDE in the ending, right? Okay. And the next one I'm going to name is, this one here, I'm going to name it, how about, hang on a second. Okay, this one here. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is figure out what type it is. So I look over here and I see, this is iron. And I look and I see, oh, iron is here, right here in the transition metals. So that means it's a type 2. So now type 2s, they need to have those Roman numerals. So that means I'm going to need to know what the charge is on my type 2. Like, what's the charge on that iron? So I'm going to divide this, and I'm going to look at my anion, which is CO3. So I go to my polyatomic ion sheet. When I look it up, I see, oh, CO3 is a -2. So that means that my cation over here has to cover that -2 charge, and there's only one iron there. So that one iron must have a +2 charge in order to cover that -2 charge. So that means that this must be iron 2, see, because there's the +2, iron +2, carbonate. And then I just name it, carbonate, carbonate, iron 2 carbonate. Okay, so that's how to name those 3. So now let's flip the tables a little bit, and let's talk